It is Thursday. That man you see there next to me with the Alabama hat, that is no longer lucky, by the way. That is no longer a lucky hat.
Listen, it's better than whatever I wore last week. Last week, I got my ass whooped. This week, at least, I'm holding my own, okay? I'll take that right now. You know, it feels like an eternity ago that I was in Charleston and started that memorable streak that lasted like a month.
Where you couldn't miss. And now, now you're nothing. Now you're basically me.
No, I'm not you. Do not put me in that realm. There's no way I'm you.
Actually, you know what's funny? Last night was my first losing night in
4 days.
In like 4 or 5 days, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I'm climbing out of the hole. I'm turning back up. We'll get back there. There's a couple games.
Bet spurts. Listen, I'm still 10 over on bet. I'm 132 and 122 on bet spurts since we started there. And we know before I even started bet spurts, I was at like 58%. So I'm still probably, you know, somewhere in that 57%, 56%. That's pretty good. I'll take it this year.
Yep. All right. So what do you got tonight?
You know, I start, obviously, you got to start fading SEMO and SIU Edwardsville. I think you do that because they played so many games. Now they've had a couple days off, but Murray plays SEMO, and they're given 12.5. Murray is not Murray. In case you don't know, Robert, Murray does they don't have John Morant. They don't have Isaiah Cannon, any of those type of dudes. They got Tevin Brown.
Wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
John Morant isn't at Murray State anymore?
No, he left.
Wow.
Yeah. Just letting you know in case you. Yeah.
See, that is why you guys listen to this.
That's right.
Breaking news like
breaking
that.
News.
John Morant is no longer at Murray State. All right. Before we get into everything for tonight's slate, what was your biggest takeaway from last night? Rutgers got a nice win. Tennessee got a nice little bounce back before showing Georgia the back door. Missouri got worked over by Ole Miss.
I guess it was probably that Missouri got crushed. But, you know, listen, to me, I think the most important thing that happened last night was Villanova looking like Villanova. And maybe it took Marquette. But again, listen, they've struggled against, you know, Georgetown, Seton Hall. They lost to the Johnnies. So, I think for me, I still have confidence Villanova there as that number 3 team come NCAA tournament. They had their long pause, so hopefully they won't have to go through anything again. And I think ultimately they still have that DNA that I value and I trust when March starts. So to me, when they're blowing teams out like that, it shows me that they're clicking again, that their legs are back. Everything's kind of back to normal for Villanova. So I think that was, to me, the most important thing that happened last night.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was nice to see them finally make some shots. You know, it was nice to see
a lot of shots.
Jeremiah Robinson-Earl kind of come out here and just completely dominate a game. Same with Colin Gillespie. The only thing that I'll say is this. It's Marquette.
I get it. Well, Dawson Garcia and DJ Carton are both talented dudes. I'm not discounting Marquette's been bad, but their talent level isn't bad, Rob. It's not. DJ Carton is talent-wise, he might be the second best player on the court last night, and Dawson Garcia might be the third or fourth best.
Well, here's the thing you got to remember about DJ. I'm trying to think of what's the diplomatic way to put this. Go look at Ohio State's record before and after he left.
Agreed. He's had some mental health issues. Yes, I think, again, Marquette is not a team that, listen, a lot of people are saying at this point their fan base is had it with Woj. And, you know, people got to remember Marquette is a program that has so much tradition, so much history, so many resources, Rob.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think people realize how much money Marquette has for their basketball department and for their athletic program. They are the most well-financed basketball program in the Big East, correct?
Right. Yes.
And it's not really close, correct?
As of at least a year or so ago, and I don't think anything's changed. I mean, again, with cuts and everything, you don't know how everything's affected. But yeah, I mean, listen, Wojo really hasn't done anything. Like he has not done enough. And I would think he would be the first one to admit that he hasn't done enough. And right now, you're talking about a team that is 5-9 in a Big East that isn't very good. I mean, they're looking up at Butler and Providence and St. John's and UConn, who hasn't played with James Bouknight for a lot of the Big East slate. I mean, that's not good if you're Wojo. I don't think something will happen after this year, but I think he squarely goes into next year on the hot seat.
Yeah. So do you remember last season when Marquette went to Villanova and they had they lost 72-71? It was one of those games where it looked like they kind of had a chance to win it. Like Marcus Howard didn't play great. I think he had like 24 in that game.
Yeah.
And they only lost by 1, but it felt like Villanova was kind of in control for that whole game.
Okay.
Since that loss,
yeah,
they finished last season losing 6 of their last 7 games.
Yeah,
they're now 5-9 in the Big East this year, which means since that Villanova loss, they've won just 6 of their last 21 Big East games.
Wow.
They are 9-11 overall this season. They don't really have I guess losing at home to DePaul is not a great loss, but that's the worst loss that they've taken this season is to a Big East team that arguably has a similar level of talent to them. Like Big East, the DePaul, they're it's not like they don't have talent. That's not the issue on this team.
This is year 7 for Wojo. Year 7. They've been to the tournament twice and have been knocked out.
This is year 7 for Wojo? Wow.
Right? 3. Yeah. This is year 7. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. They've been to the tournament
twice.
Twice, but they would have made it last year. So
it would have been close, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't like they kind of limped in. If you remember, they limped in.
They lost 6 of the last 7 games. So
right. 18-12 overall. Like they would have gotten in, but they might have been a first 4 or like a 12 seed or something like that, and probably got knocked out in the first round again. So, if you're Marquette, again, you're not happy with this. You're not happy, and the fans are not happy, and something's got to change there. I didn't mean this to be a full Marquette podcast here at the beginning, but
no, it's one of the more, to me, that's one of the more interesting storylines in that conference because
sure
you expect that program to be better based off of, again, the money that they have and the tradition that they have, and they're just not, right? Yeah. And at some point, that's gonna catch up to Wojo. So at this point, are you ready to call Villanova the 3rd best team in the country, or are you still?
I was ready a month ago. I was ready when they were still on pause, Rob. I never lost faith. I just felt like it was going to take time to be able to say they're there again. But I had no doubt that they would get there. And to me now, they're probably there, or pretty darn close to it. And my take is, Rob, if you're putting Villanova against Ohio State in a 10-game series, if you're putting them against Illinois in a 10-game series, if you're putting them against whoever you want, Michigan in a 10-game series, who are you taking to win the majority of those games?
Probably Villanova.
There you go.
Yeah, probably Villanova.
Right.
But it's also I feel like I am a little bit biased there just because of the success that Jay Wright has had in the past. It's the same. It's like he's kind of reached the level of Tom Izzo. Remember how Tom Izzo, when there was that stretch where he made a final, like every single player that graduated and played 4 years made a Final Four for him.
Yeah.
It kind of got to the point where it's like, well, why would you ever bet against Tom Izzo in March? Like he always gets it done. And
that's right.
Jay Wright is kind of verging on that territory a little bit, but justifiably so. They have an All-American at the point. They have an All-American at the 5. And we have a whole bunch of wings that can do a job.
Older dudes.
Yeah. Jermaine Samuels is the perfect 4-man for the system they want to play. Yeah. Justin Moore is one of the most underrated sophomores in the country. Caleb Daniels can play. We still haven't even seen Brian Antoine. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, I'm just all in. I'm all in on Villanova being the 3rd best team. I don't know what their odds are to win the whole thing.
I would probably not take them, but
why not?
Bing! There you go.
Fanta. Blame that one on Fanta.
Unbelievable, John Fanta. Well, you know what he's doing? He's just trying to get back at us because I was texting him last night when he was actually on TV.
He's got 3 games. He's doing the G League. Is he doing TV for the G League games today? 3 of them. Imagine that.
Yeah. So Villanova is plus 900 according to our friends over at Bet Rivers right now to win the national.
Not bad. I mean, I don't take it. I don't know if I put money on anybody other than Gonzaga and Baylor, but I would this year just because I think something could go wrong. That's the only reason.
We're looking at it right now. Baylor's shut down for still another week and a half.
Right. We have no idea how they're going to come back. Like Michigan. Michigan's going to come back quicker. And again, the timing now for Villanova, I mean, it was a long layoff, 27 days. But the timing was probably, the best it could have been in a way, right? They'd already won enough games. You got plenty of time to get back. Baylor should have that too. I mean, you're talking about getting back like mid-February. Your first tournament game is until mid-March. You'll be fine. It's the teams that are going to get hit like March 1st. If you have a shutdown at the end of February or early March, to me, then you're in trouble. I
mean, we're butting right up against the end of February right now with Baylor, right? They'll
be back
all the way through February.
They'll be back on like the 20th or so. Like that gives them again. It doesn't matter.
Also, I think it's very different in Texas the way that shutdowns are going to operate than what's happening in the Michigan athletic department, where everybody's being like where they were stuck in hotel rooms or dorm rooms or whatever it was for 2 weeks. In Texas, they do things a little bit differently. There was a packed house of maskless fans at in Lubbock the other night. So it is what it is. All right.
You would have been there.
Are you ready to apologize to me for slandering Jaden Springer, for slandering Keon Johnson, and for saying anything bad ever about these Tennessee Volunteers? Without Yves Pons, the best defensive player in college basketball.
Oh my God. They couldn't even cover against Georgia.
They beat up the Bulldogs. They beat them up.
The Bulldogs covered. Tommy Crean and the Bulldogs, didn't they cover?
Yeah, they covered, but who cares? Tennessee won. They won in a game that was never in doubt without their best defensive player, the guy that lets them play 5 out, that lets them play fast. Unbelievable performance. Jaden Springer, 30 points on 11 shots, 3 or 4 from 3. Keon Johnson had 18 again. Those two combined to get to the line 20 times.
What is this? We've got breaking news from Mike DeCourcy on Deshaun Butler getting a coaching job.
I mean, that's been done for like weeks. He's talked about that on the podcast multiple times.
I didn't know. When's he starting? He already started?
Yeah. Like he's been there for a while.
Just been coaching all this time?
No, he just like he I'll let Deshaun fill you in on the details, but this is not breaking news.
Wow. It is breaking news because I didn't know about it. This is
well, you know what? Maybe you should get your ear on the streets and actually talk to some of the people that work with you for the Field of 68 instead of sitting on your high horse and not doing your job. All right. Anything else from last night that you want to talk about?
I don't think there was anything worthwhile. I mean, certainly the Indiana Northwestern game was not worthwhile. Like that doesn't deserve 10 seconds of our time, other than the fact that if you're Indiana and Archie Miller, you're going, thank God.
Yeah. What did the final score end up being? Right. Oh, so Indiana won by 3. Yeah, they didn't even cover in double overtime. Imagine having the under in that game.
3.5. It was 3.5. I took it.
Yeah, but imagine having the under in that game.
Oh my God. Yeah, that would be brutal. All right. Let's get
Iowa. So I just want to say one thing real quick about Iowa before we get on to tonight. They won by 13 against Rutgers. Rutgers shot 6 for 28 from 3, missed 18 of their first 19 3-pointers, and got a lot of open looks. That to me, what happened there was Rutgers just missed a lot of really good shots. And if they shot anywhere near their average percentage from 3, they would have won that game pretty easily. So that's
I'm just happy Iowa won because we need to get a podcast off the ground here. And we need Iowa to start winning some games in order to do so.
Yeah.
Right? Period. That we're rooting for Iowa. We're rooting for the Hawkeyes here. All right. Not a lot of big-time high major games today. Would you agree?
Yes, I would agree. But there are two high major games that I absolutely love, and that for me are pretty close to auto bets. The first one is Purdue at Minnesota. I love Purdue in this spot.
I got it. You love Purdue?
I love Purdue in this spot.
I always take Minnesota at home.
I think that this is just such a great matchup for the Boilermakers. I mean, they beat the shit out of Minnesota the last time they played. They won by 20. And the reason why is because they have a terrific point of attack defender in Eric Hunter who can like just take away all the ball screen stuff that Minnesota wants to do for Marcus Carr. They're going to run Minnesota ragged with all like the off ball movement and stuff that Matt Pater does offensively and what Shrews has him doing offensively. And if Purdue ever does happen to miss a shot, they are going to pound the offensive glass against a Minnesota team that is not very great in that department. And like to put it all together.
Who else? Hey, you remember who else pounded Minnesota? Michigan pounded Minnesota the first game, and then what happened in the rematch?
All right, the last time that you did this, do you know what happened? Last time that you said, I remember specifically the last time you said I'm betting on Minnesota at home because of this, that, and the third. The last time they played at home, what happened?
Maryland, right?
49 points against Maryland.
Maryland.
49 points against Maryland.
I'm gonna have to call Richard Pitino.
I'll tell you what. You go ahead. You go ahead. You can have.
I already did. I got it at 2. I got Minnesota at 2 when the line opened. That's how good I feel.
Congratulations.
Now 3.5.
Congratulations on losing a bet.
Honestly, I haven't felt as good as I do about this bet in a month. Laying 2. That's how good I feel.
We'll see.
Would you like to put a personal wager on this one?
No, I would not like to put a personal wager. I've already wagered enough on this with our friends.
You're doing more right now.
Yeah,
as we speak, you're going in and loading up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I am. So obviously that line came from Bet Rivers. Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now is the time. Bet Rivers Sportsbook is offering a $250 match bonus at your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn that money into turn that bonus into cash money. When you win at Bet Rivers Sportsbook, they pay fast, and now it's even faster with Rush Pay instant approval for withdrawals. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. I know because I use it. So with March Madness right around the corner, there's never been a better time to give Bet Rivers Sportsbook a try. Go to betrivers.com today or download the Bet Rivers iOS app. You must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Jeffrey, I don't have a gambling problem. I have a winning problem. That's what I have.
I hope you have a winning problem.
I have a winning problem.
We need you to get going here a little bit. All right. So the other one, and you're going to be proud of me. You're finally going to be proud of me, I think, on this one. I have finally decided to go against Bobby Hurley in Arizona State tonight.
Okay.
It's been all year. It's taken until mid-February. I've lost a lot of money on Arizona State this year. A lot of money. Oregon is playing in Tempe, as you would call it.
Tempe.
They're playing in Tempe today. And Oregon, believe it or not, is getting points in Tempe. They're getting a point. I finally given up.
Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Get an answer on Chris Duarte's health.
I know. Obviously I will, but I'm still – honestly,
no, I agree with you. I still like it in that spot. Like this,
I'm kind of fading. But you're right. With and without Duarte is a huge difference. I think he's a guy that I don't know. Nobody talks about him because Oregon hasn't been that good this year, and they're out in the left coast. But I think he's a guy that's like a third-team All-American candidate. Like I think he's in the mix. If they were better this year, he's an elite shooter. He's a good defender. He can put it on the floor. He's tough as shit. I'm a big Duarte fan.
I am too. I'm assuming that you're saying all of this because you read my newsletter, The Rebound, where I talked all about Chris Duarte like 2 weeks ago.
I don't subscribe. I still haven't subscribed. So I see the newsletter come in and I try to click the button to read the rest of it and I can't get it.
Yeah, it's because you're cheap. It's $7 a month.
I'm not paying $7 a month.
It's $7 a month. It's well, I get that's rough for you. That's like double your normal bet. So, but I am going to give you this stat. All right.
Okay.
He, as of 2 weeks ago, I don't have the numbers in front of me. As of 2 weeks ago, he was averaging 18 points, 4.5 boards, 2.5 steals, 2.2 assists, 1 block, and shooting 45% from 3. Right? He's the only Division I basketball player since the 1992-93 season to hit those thresholds. And if you drop the shooting percentage, the 3-point shooting percentage down to 40%, Kerry Kittles is the only guy that like really gets close to those.
I like Kerry Kittles.
And some of that is a little bit of like small sample, like fun with small sample sizes.
Yeah.
But that should tell you everything you need to know about Duarte. Now, the thing about him is like he's going to be 24 when the NBA draft comes around. Yeah. But like he's kind of a finished product, you know. He's 6'6", he's long, he's athletic. To me,
I'm a fan.
To me, he's a top 40 pick in the draft.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, listen, at worst case scenario, he's just like a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, honestly, with size, like I think it's a no-brainer to take him in the top, 40 picks. And I think, again, if you take the age out of the equation, I think he could be a guy that goes late in the first round. I absolutely do. All right. So I like Oregon there. I'm going to ride both LA schools tonight. It's kind of more a fade against the Washington schools as much as anything. I don't think Washington's any good. It's a lot of points, 11.5 for USC at Washington, but man, Washington has just not played in many games this year. So I'm going to go with USC in that one. And then UCLA is favored by 4.5 at Washington State. I don't know. I just feel like I know Washington State's better. They're getting better. You're a huge Kyle Smith guy. I think UCLA just needs – they can't slip up in this. Like this is a big spot for Mick Cronin and UCLA. If you want to win the league, if you want to have a chance to be at large and not – sweat it out. If you lose this game, you start to fall to that point where people might start to consider you a bubble team. So I think UCLA needs this one bad.
There's one other bet that I really like. I mentioned it earlier. Iowa State at Kansas.
Yeah, you like Iowa State these days. You're big on Iowa State.
They've covered 3 straight games for me.
Yeah.
They're healthy now. I think people are going to look at that record and kind of bet Kansas in that spot, especially because Kansas is coming off of the win over Oklahoma State, so they're starting to feel a little bit good. It's Fog Island Fieldhouse, but like Iowa State's got talent on that roster, and like they have guys that can score in isolation. Like I think Iowa State has been a really good buy low candidate for a while. And because they're not winning, they're just playing games tough. I mean, look here. I'm going to bring up their schedule and just tell you like what they're doing and how well they're playing.
Okay, you tell me.
Some of the best teams in the Big 12. All right. So They lost by 3 at TCU on Thursday. They lost by 7 at Oklahoma last Saturday. They lost by 4 at home against West Virginia the Tuesday before that. They got blown out in their 2 games coming off of the pause, but they didn't have their full complement of players. True. They got blown out before they went into their pause by Texas Tech, but they didn't have the full complement of players. Before that, they lost by 6 at Texas, and on the first game of the Big 12 season, the first game of the Big 12 season, they lost by 5 at West Virginia, and they lost by 11 at home to Baylor. So when they've had their full complement of guys, they haven't lost by more than that number in Big 12 play.
Yeah. All right. Listen, you've sort of convinced me. I'm not sure you've completely convinced me. I'm not taking it, but I just can't find myself to bet on Iowa State. I just can't do it. I feel like I'm going to do it, and they're going to get absolutely hosed.
So John Mitchell just said in the comments, I have no idea what this is in reference to, but he said, what I've learned today is that Jeff is not a team player, which is exactly right. That's his entire scout.
Why? What is?
I don't remember what it is. I just noticed it, so I don't remember what it's about. It's from whatever we were talking about 4 minutes ago. Post was 4 minutes ago. But yeah, Jeff is absolutely not a team player.
John, what did I get?
Scouting report. He would be the perfect fit on
Arizona?
a team like Arizona State. He'd fit in really well with a program like LSU. So, you got it down, John. Like you got it all figured out.
He's going to add it out. He's going to add in what it was. But all right, what else you got? You got anything else? I got to work
not Minnesota. Really. I don't love a ton of stuff. I do. So we faded Georgia State on what day did they play in the afternoon? Was it Tuesday, Monday? We faded Georgia State on that day.
You've done well with South Alabama, I think, lately.
Yeah, I like Georgia State in this spot. The reason we faded them against South Alabama is that South Alabama plays a zone and doesn't let you run pick and rolls, and Georgia State, all they want to do is pick and roll you to death. And Georgia Southern, I believe either Elijah McFadden isn't going to play or he's banged up, who's their best shooter and leading scorer. And they should be more susceptible to that pressing pick and roll kind of running gun style that Georgia State wants to play. So I do like Georgia State in that spot. So I will be betting them. And that's all I'm going to have today. I'm going to have Purdue. I'm going to have
Temple game on the board. Is this Temple East Carolina game on the board?
That got canceled, didn't it?
I don't know. It might have. It's still listed on something that I'm looking at right now. It's listed as a noon game. So I was like, all right, if it's happening, I got to take something with it.
I probably should have mentioned this, but Georgia State is favored by 7.5, according to our friends over at Bet Rivers. Oh, he said in reference to the rebound. That's right. Yeah. Not a team player. Not supporting your partners.
$7, John. It's not worth $7 a month to me. It's just not worth it.
It's probably not worth $7 a month.
It's like $2.99. No, it takes a lot of work to go in there, and I don't know why I haven't been comped. I mean, if you were a team player,
that's on me. That's on me. I should be comping you so you would actually.
Exactly.
No.
So
anything else?
Who's who's the James Harden now?
You are the James Harden.
You're the Kyrie. You're the Kyrie.
We've had a couple people in the comments saying that they love Montana tonight against Weber State. So
really,
yeah, why not?
What's the reasoning there?
I have no idea.
Like Montana, huh? Wow. I'll give you a stat. They're 14-1 in their last 15 when playing at home against Weber State. That's pretty impressive. Straight up, though. That's straight up. What's the line?
Pick them.
Oh, so there you go. There you go. All right. I'm riding with you guys on this one. I'm gonna ride with you guys. Who was it? Who?
I don't remember. It was somewhere. We got a lot of comments today. A lot of people are John Mitchell again. All right. The homie John Mitchell.
All right. I'm in for Montana, boys. So let's make sure we get that one. Montana. We'll put that one in now. And hopefully it's tomorrow. Are there any good games tomorrow?
I don't know.
You looked?
I have no idea. But so that's what I'm rolling with today. I'm taking the Purdue money line. I already got that in. I will be on Iowa State plus 14.5. And I'm going to take Georgia State minus 7.5. And I got a ride on Montana too, right?
What time is that game?
Montana's at 7. So I'm in on Montana too. This one's on you, John Mitchell.
I'm all in on Montana, John. I'm all in on it. What about Montana State? Does he have anything? Is he locked in on Montana, the state? I got him getting one too. I'm gonna take the money line. All right. I'm in. Just threw it in on BetSports. We got a little Montana, adding it in at the end here.
And yeah, make sure you follow us on BetSports. If you followed us on BetSports, you would have seen a max bet that I put in on Wake Forest at about 4:30. Once we found out that BC was going to be short on players, so
I knew that at 9 a.m. So
we did, but we got confirmation later. So if you follow us on BetSports, you would have gotten that information and you would have profited with us. That was the one thing that I really profited well on yesterday. So, all right, Jeffrey, it's been fun. Happy betting. Hope you tomorrow.